Right now, as you watch this, a quiet, invisible war is being waged inside your mind. It isn't a battle against an enemy you can see or touch. It is a battle against a ghost. Think about the one thing that keeps you tossing and turning at 2 a.m. Maybe it's the paralyzing fear of losing your job, the dread of ending up alone, the anxiety of being judged, or the crushing realization that you might be squandering your true potential. We spend so much of our lives trying to outrun these feelings. We doom scroll through social media to numb the noise. We overwork ourselves to outpace the dread, or we simply pretend it isn't there. But the moment the room goes quiet, the ghost returns, that cold, tight knot of tension in your chest. Most videos will tell you to just be brave or think positive. They'll offer you a motivational quote from a Roman emperor who lived 2 millennia ago and tell you to pull yourself together. But let's be honest, when you are genuinely terrified of what the future holds, a pithy quote on an Instagram graphic doesn't change a damn thing. It feels hollow, doesn't it? That's because fear isn't a motivational problem. It's a design flaw in human psychology. I'm not here to tell you to stop being afraid. Instead, I'm going to show you how the ancient Stoics used psychology to deconstruct fear like a complex machine, effectively stripping away its power over you. By the end of this, that knot in your chest won't just vanish. It will finally make sense. And once you truly understand it, you will never fear it in the same way again. To defeat fear, we must first understand what it actually is. Psychologists call it anticipatory anxiety, which is really just a fancy term for a glitch in your mental software. Your brain functions like a time machine. It is constantly projecting itself into a future that doesn't exist yet, crafting elaborate worst-case scenarios, and then reacting to those imaginary events as if they were happening right now. Think about it. If you are dreading a difficult conversation tomorrow, your heart rate spikes today. Your palms sweat today. You are suffering in the present moment for a disaster that hasn't even happened and might never happen. The Stoic philosopher Seneca captured this perfectly in a letter to his friend Lucilius. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about how profound that is. Most of the pain you've experienced in your life didn't come from actual events. It came from the anticipation of those events. You are essentially torturing yourself on credit, paying interest on a debt you may never even owe. Why does our brain do this? Because your brain hates uncertainty. From an evolutionary standpoint, uncertainty equals danger. Therefore, your mind prefers a miserable certainty over an unknown future, often filling the blank spaces of tomorrow with monsters. However, Stoicism isn't about slaying those monsters. It's about simply turning on the lights and realizing that the monster was just a shadow cast by a jacket hanging on the door. So how do we flip the switch? The Stoics practiced a psychological exercise that sounds completely insane at first, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Modern self-help gurus tell you to visualize success and manifest your dream life. The Stoics did the exact opposite. They visualized their absolute worst-case scenario. Let's try it right now. Think about the thing you are most afraid of losing or failing at. Don't push it away. Look directly at it. If you lose that job, what actually happens? You lose your income. Okay, then what? You have to cut back on your spending. You have to update your resume. You might have to move into a smaller apartment or crash on a friend's couch for a month. You might have to eat ramen noodles for every meal. Is it unpleasant? Yes. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But is it fatal? No. The legendary Seneca would spend a few days every month living as if he were a poor man, wearing rough clothes, eating cheap bread, and sleeping on the floor. While doing so, he would ask himself, is this the condition that I feared? He discovered that our fear thrives only in the vague, blurry shadows of the unknown. When you force yourself to look at the worst-case scenario in vivid detail, you realize something liberating. You can handle it. Human beings are remarkably resilient creatures. You have survived 100% of your worst days so far. You have survived heartbreaks, embarrassments, and failures. If the worst happens, you will adapt, you will rebuild, and you will survive that, too. Fear tells you that a crisis will destroy you. Stoicism reminds you that a crisis will only reveal who you truly are. Once you have stared down your worst-case scenario, you need a daily framework to prevent fear from creeping back in. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and rose to become one of the greatest minds in history, broke life down into two simple categories: things that are up to us and things that are not. 90% of your fear exists entirely in that second category. You fear what your boss thinks of you. That is not up to you. You fear a market crash. Not up to you. You fear someone leaving you. Not up to you. When you invest your emotional stability into things outside your control, fear is the natural, inevitable result. You are handing the remote control of your peace of mind to a world that doesn't care about your comfort. Imagine an archer. He can choose how hard he trains, how he cares for his bow, and how he focuses his aim. That is entirely up to him. But the moment the arrow leaves the string, it is out of his control. A gust of wind could blow it off course, or the target could move. The amateur archer ties his happiness to whether the arrow hits the bullseye, so he lives in constant fear of the wind. The Stoic archer, however, ties his satisfaction to how perfectly he executed the shot. He knows the wind belongs to the world, but the effort belongs to him. When you shift your focus from the outcome to the effort, fear evaporates. You stop worrying about whether you will win and start focusing entirely on playing the game flawlessly. If you've watched this far, something inside you has already shifted. You've realized that fear isn't an unbeatable monster. It is just an unexamined thought. The next time that cold, familiar anxiety tries to claw its way into your chest, remember these 3 steps. First, stop the time machine. Bring your mind back to the present room, the present breath, the present second. You are safe right here, right now. Second, deconstruct the ghost. Look at the worst-case scenario and ask yourself, is this the condition that I feared? Strip it of its mystery. Third, draw your circle. Separate what you can control from what you can't. Pour 100% of your energy into your actions and let the rest of the world spin how it may. You don't need a life free of obstacles to be happy. You just need a mind that knows how to meet them. Shadows only look big when the light is low. Turn on the light, step into the world, and stop paying interest on a future you owe nothing to. Focus on the arrow. Let the wind blow.